Hello boys and girls, today I'm going to show you how to make a book that you won't need staples to make the binding, to make it all stay together. So you aren't going to need staples, and you're only going to need glue if you want to add decorations. So all you need is paper and a pair of scissors. So let's go ahead and make our book. I'm going to be using printer paper, but you can use any kind of paper really. You can use construction paper, craft paper, any kind of paper. And you can make this any size. I'm going to make mine a little bit smaller because the smaller you make it, the more pages you end up with. So my first step is I'm going to take my paper that I have here and I'm going to fold it in half. Trying to match up my corners, and I'm going ahead and folding my whole stack at the same time just so it's faster. But if you want to fold each paper individually, you can. That'll probably make it more precise. Then we're going to open it up and cut right on that crease we just made. That crease is going to be our line to show us where to cut. So now we have two sections. We want to keep these two sections separate because for our bookmaking technique, you have to have two different pieces. So we're going to take this and we're going to fold our first section in half. And this is going to be about the size of our book. Then we're going to take our second section and we're going to fold that section in half. Now we need something to measure with. It doesn't have to be a ruler. You can use anything to measure with. You can use a broken crayon or a glue stick or a binder clip. We just want to use something that will give us the same length on both times we're measuring something. So I'm going to open my first section up. I'm going to use a broken crayon to do my measuring. I'm going to put this broken crayon flat side down, and I'm going to put it right in the middle, going in the same direction as my crease there. Put it right in the middle, and I'm going to draw a line that goes along with my broken crayon. And I'm going to make my line just go a little bit further out. Now I'm going to do the exact same thing on my other one. Put this right in the middle, and draw a line right on my fold. So now I'm going to take my scissors, go back to my first one, and I'm going to cut on the crease. That crease shows us where to cut, and I'm going to stop at the blue. And stop. Flip it around, cut on the crease, and I'm going to stop at the blue. Now for our other one, for our second paper, we're going to do the same thing but opposite. So instead of cutting on the white, this time we're cutting on the blue. Because what we're cutting is in the middle of a paper, it's kind of hard to get there. So there's a couple of different techniques that you can use. One thing that I like to do is take, in the art classroom, we would all just use my rug that's in my classroom, and we would just take our scissors and poke a hole through. But since your parents probably don't want you poking holes on top of their carpet, what I like to do is take an old dirty towel, and make sure you ask permission before you do this. Don't just start stabbing holes in your parents' stuff. That would be bad. Open the scissors and make sure you're not holding it on the sharp parts. If you're holding it like this, you could hurt yourself. So make sure you're holding it by the handle and use one of the pointy sides and just put it right on the blue. And you want to wiggle back and forth until you get a hole popped right through. And that's all you need that towel for. Easy peasy. Make sure you ask permission before you start stabbing holes and stuff. Okay, then we're going to take the bottom part of our scissors and put it back through that hole. And it's a lot easier if you take tiny snips at first. So that way your scissors can start to fit through there. And then you can make bigger snips as you go. And stop at the blue. At the end of the blue. Flip it around. and stop at the end of the blue. So right now we have our two sections where one is cut on the white and one is cut on the blue. So we have a little hole in there. So to make these fit together, we are going to fit this through the hole and pop it out the other side. So to do this, I'm going to take part of this paper and I'm going to curl this to make a tube. Don't fold it tight and crease it. You want it to be like a toilet paper tube. Then we're going to take this and we're going to fit it through that blue hole. And if it's not fitting, that means you might need to cut this a little more. Like this is a little bit tight for me. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to make this cut a little bit longer on both sides. And that happens a lot. Totally normal if that happens. So I'm going to go back to this and I'm going to curl this into a tube so that it's small enough to fit through here. And this takes some finagling, so be patient with yourself. Push it through and come back on this side and pull it through if that's easier. And then it should pop open. You lay it flat. And all we have to do next is close our book. And now we have a book with a whole bunch of pages that we didn't even need staples or glue or anything for. Now what you can do is you can take a piece of construction paper, you can glue it to make a cover, like that. I used a piece of paper from our leaf rubbing from last week, and I really like the way that looks. It's a nice, pretty little cover. Then you can use this as a sketchbook or a notebook or a diary or whatever you want. All right, have fun making books.